All right. Well, hey, my box of my useless shit. Heck yeah. You'll love to see it.
Hi, how was your day? So, you've probably already seen the message I sent, but I have a favor to ask you. It's about Amada-kun. This is just a hunch, but I think he's been feeling kind of down lately.
Well, now that we're talking about this all, can you check in on him when you have the time?
He should be in his room.
Okay, well, yeah, can we one or the other are both feeling like you deserve punishment and using it to distract you from the emotional pain? As the emotional pain overwhelms whatever pain you would otherwise feel from an injury, yeah, that too, that's fair. And yeah, I've heard about that there, Guzma. Like, I know that that's been mentioned here and there before about, like, bringing oneself down. And, probably from, like, a lot of past experiences of people being like, hey, you should believe this about yourself, even when it's not true. For me, it's more about, like, I really want to get into this. I never really have all that many people saying things that make me doubt myself. Like, there'll be people that say, like, really deprecating things on, like, some of my video essays, for example, but at this point, I've gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, just same old shit. Like, that kind of thing I don't really care all that much about anymore after dealing with it for years. Negative emotions for me are always stemming from myself, and, I don't know, feeling, you camera kind of on the subject already. It's a little bit too personal. I don't know if it's the kind of thing I really want to get into during Persona / at all, potentially. But I don't know, man. Let's see here. The vending machine, should I buy something to drink? Hey, there's these things here. But it's, well, I know that there have been, like, some situations before, like, the whole, like, people trying to cancel you on Twitter kind of situation. But yeah, I guess it would mostly stem from oneself. For me, it just stems from oneself, and, you know, for me, basically the short version, and without going into details of what it is version, is just like a really incredibly crippling loneliness that it feels like is going to persist forever, and blaming myself for not having more connections, like, especially through my university years and stuff. Like, I don't think that there's a single connection that I've kept through doing 7 years of university, and just, you know, I don't know, feeling like there's something wrong with me because of that. Who asked me to check on Amada? This could be a good opportunity to get to know him better. I mean, there's also basically all my friends that I grew up with in the German bilingual program, almost all of which are in a relationship or hitched by now. Should I spend the evening with Amada?
Yes.
And so, while a lot of aspects in life, I have gotten a whole lot better at not comparing myself to others, there are aspects like that where I struggle a lot more to be able to kind of move past that and not be drawing comparisons and, like, really blaming myself for my own ineptitude in that kind of field, and, feeling like there's something wrong with me, and wanting to just, like, self-deprecate myself, or, sometimes when it gets really, really bad, just, like, again, I never cut myself or anything like that, but there are some times that I'll, like, just go outside, stare up at the stars, try to meditate, figure out what the heck is wrong with me, maybe bash my head against a tree a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. I don't really want to get into it anymore.
Can I help you?
Laugh to hide the pain. I'd like to talk.
With me? Okay, but
And yeah,
why so
I
sudden?
remember hearing a little bit about that.
You
And yeah, that kind
worried
of
about
situation is
Are you? If so,
really
thank
shitty
you,
there
but
too.
I'm totally fine.
But like, at the same time, that's also just kind of like a way that life can go, where people's lives take them in very different directions. My friends that I grew up with on, like, through the German bilingual program, I'll chat with maybe 2 of them, like, maybe once or twice a year. Like, it's not super frequent, but we still have those connections just because we grew up through 12 plus years, like, probably closer to 13 because of, like, Die kleine Kinderschule before kindergarten. So I guess 14 years then, technically, of doing school together with some of them. So it's like, those are the kinds of connections where it's like, we're gonna have them for life, but maybe not always be involved with one another's lives all that much anymore. But I am grateful to have those. Like, I don't know here. We'll try to get together at least once a year. Last year it was around Thanksgiving. We had a Friendsgiving that I thought was kind of fun. Maybe we'll have something like that again this year. like everyone's lives are in completely different places. So there was that with all my German bilingual friendos. And then like my non-German bilingual friendos, there was the one who tried to ruin my life. That was basically like my best friend for a while that, like nowadays lives on the other side of the province. We're cool with one another. She's hitched nowadays, interestingly enough. And, we're cool with one another, but we're kind of awkward around one another because of like our past with, her really hating my guts for a while. There was one close friend through junior high and high school that was one of the main people that got me into watching Twitch in the first place. And when I started Twitch, I sent my channel to him, being like, hey, like you inspired me to start like getting into Twitch stuff. Like, here's my channel, since he was the kind of person that was on Twitch all the time. And he responded with nice plug. And I think that's the last time we ever talked. I don't think he's ever been to my stream when we were basically hanging out like every single day in high school. It's like, okay, I don't know what's up with that. And then the last two that I was hanging out with pretty frequently, they got together with one another, and then I started not really seeing them all that much. And nowadays, I don't even know if they like me all that much anymore. I see them every once in a while at midnight launches for games. Like, I remember seeing them during the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We don't really talk all that much nowadays. And I remember the guy, he was telling me that it was so strange for him getting recommended my videos sometimes on the YouTube homepage, like some of my Pokemon video essays, how much those popped off. Because it's just so weird for him how someone that he used to know grew up to become a famous YouTuber. I'm like, I'm not. I'm literally not a famous YouTuber, though. I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, no, you definitely are, at least a little bit. And I'm like, I'm not, though. And he just kind of acted a little bit awkward around me ever since then. Plus, I feel like because I was the one person in, like, that group of old friends chatting in the line for Scarlet and Violet who wasn't explicitly hyped for the game and didn't think that it was going to be, like, the second coming of Christ, I was a little bit... What's the word? Out of place there? Something like that didn't quite fit in when I'm the one person that wasn't there because I was so hyped to pick up this game right when it launched. So that was him, and so I don't know what he thinks of me nowadays, but the last time that I saw him, he acted like very weird around me, seemingly due to my status as someone as a YouTuber, even though I'm a pretty small content creator, and maybe partially because I didn't match his level of hype for Scarlet and Violet, I don't know. And the other one, the girl of the relationship who I was also close to in high school, she's actually the one that did the hat badge for this channel that I use to this day. Or more specifically, coming out of high school when I first started this channel, since she was an artist and we were still closer at the time, and I asked her if she could draw a hat badge for me. She did like several test sketches, and the one that I currently still use is the one that I like the most. And I was like, that one looks really cool. If you could finalize and digitalize that, that'd be great. And she never did, and that's kind of when we fell out of contact, so I digitalized it myself. So I took the sketch that she did of, like, it on physical paper and digitalized it and made the current logo that there is today. And when I saw her in the line for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, like, we were chatting a decent bit and catching up, and she was like, I feel so bad that, like, I said that I was gonna make you, like, this badge all those years ago. I never got around to doing it, but I'll be sure to do so now. Like, so I'll be sure to follow up and reach out to you, and like, both of them have my Discord information. They can do so whenever, and I'll be sure to do that for you. I never heard from her ever again, so I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if either one of them like me. And I'm still kind of using the same badge, and I do really like the current badge, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind potentially replacing it one day, considering the person that made it, I don't know if even likes me nowadays. And there's kind of that weirdness behind it. So, like, it's become so standardized at this channel. Which badge? The hat badge, the one that's used for, like, the Discord server. The one that there's the pink recolor of for your sub badge right there. Here, this one right here. I have a physical sketch of it saved somewhere around on my computer, is the case, and that's what I drew over and digitalized. Like, maybe. I do a lot of overthinking. And maybe I can just leave the badge as is. Like, it is a nice looking badge, I feel like, but I don't know. I don't know. There have been some artist friendos I've talked to sometimes where it's like, hey, would you be willing to do, like, a new hat for me? Has been the case. Because, yeah, I don't know. It's cute. It's pretty good. Maybe I should just keep it. Yeah, let's see here. Imagine having crippling loneliness with no connections, could be mean. Yeah. What about that friendo who came by from Frag last year? There's a friendo that came by from Frag last year? Are you just talking about like some of the Frag stuff? Like, or, oh, you mean Finn? Like, at first I was like, who are you talking about? Like someone that came to our table? Finn from Germany? Like, I'll chat with him from time to time and like chat about some things there. Who showed up at the end? Oh, Timon. Yeah, he's one of the people from the German bilingual group that I grew up with that I'll chat with from time to time. I gave him some lessons in my truck earlier this year. Yeah, after Fragapalooza, I took him for a drive, and he knows how to drive a manual, but not a 3 on the tree, and I offered to give him lessons at one point. So one day I invited him to like one of the few car shows I went to this year, and he showed up to that. And since my truck was working that day, although still leaking fuel and a little bit sketchy, I did do like some driving lessons with him in that truck in a parking lot. Maybe next year, if my truck is working and not at risk of randomly breaking down anymore, maybe I'll actually have him do some lessons in my truck on the road, because that was kind of fun. And I think he's hitched now too, or he was either hitched or going to get hitched soon. And I think this past summer he moved into his own place, interestingly enough. And he's the one guy that I know who's like taller than I am significantly, so I have to look up when I talk to him. But yeah, I'll see him maybe like twice a year is the case. He's probably one of the closer connections I have after high school, after growing up with him. Like, he wasn't one of the people that I was like super close to through like grade school. Just one of the people where it's like, hey, we're friends because we've known each other for so long, but not like actively hanging out. Like, I was never actively hanging out with him anytime through grade school, really, unless it was a group thing. But after that, we got a little bit closer in university when there would be like group meetups on a on-campus bar, and him and I would get to chatting about religion extensively, because he's religious, I'm not, and we'd extensively like debate it and talk about it and stuff like that. So we got a decent bit closer, like after university. So when I have stuff going on, I reach out to him from time to time. So he's probably my closest connection after grade school, and I'll do things that end up involving him and seeing him maybe twice a year. So it's not super frequent. He's not the kind of person that I reach out and chat to like super frequently. It's not one of those kinds of friendships. It's one of the kinds of friendships where it's like, if there's something really cool going on, you'll invite the other person to it and see each other once in a while, a couple times a year, and catch up on life during those phases, is what that kind of friendship is. That's what most of my friendships are at this point. I don't really have anybody in person that I'm like actively keeping in touch with, apart from family members like my cousin's kids. Like, I can't really think of anybody else off the top of my head, apart from those that are like online friendos that I've also met in person, like that Guzma nerd. In terms of people that I know here, I don't know if I could name a single person, I'm gonna be honest. You know, so many connections become challenged or dissipate as one advances through adulthood. Unfortunately, no one's really spared from that. Yeah, that is definitely a kind of trouble. I was hoping that I would make more connections during university. Like, it seemed like most of my friends that I grew up in elementary school, or through grade school, I should say, managed to do. Like, I kind of feel like I'm lagging behind everyone decent bit of the time. But, yeah, there is that. Biggest fear is just reduction, not even dating, but just friends now. That's fair. My biggest fear is dating, is what it is, I would say. Here, let's say that's a relief.
It must be tough being the leader and
So,
always
yeah.
needing to spread your concern among everyone.
And
Thanks for going out of your way to check on me. I'll do my best not to worry you.
whenever I get advice from anybody about that, people are just like, oh yeah, just like keep on going out and like doing things in the world and you'll meet someone eventually. And I try to like go out and get involved with like doing all sorts of like cool events. Like I'm involved with charity organizations now, like Extra Life, going out and doing like 24-hour streams there. I go to all the Mega FPS events. I run the tournaments at Fragapalooza. I regularly go to car shows. Nowadays, I go to like all the gardening events that I can in the city as well, like seed exchanges and like stick exchanges with the Scion Wood Exchange. I go to like all the conventions that I can go to, but I just generally don't really meet people and start conversations with them. Like I don't know, should I be trying to do that more? I don't know. Like it's a, I don't know. Even here, let's
Good night.
well,
Come to think of it.
Neither do you.
That dinner,
What, go out to do a whole bunch of things? Or go out and talk to people? Like, there's also not usually a whole lot of people that I see. It's like, wow, I really want to go start a conversation with that person.
Would you?
It doesn't really prop up all that much. Like, maybe I should just try to, like, chat with people more. Even, like, completely separate from dating, just talking to people more.
It's nothing.
Get out of my social
Sorry for
bubble a
asking
little
you to
bit.
go out all of a sudden. I just wanted someone to come with
Like,
me.
Yeah, I talk to people because you're too socially awkward. Fair enough there.
People tend to stare when they see an elementary school kid like me.
I was chatting with a couple people at this past Comic-Con when they were commenting on my end cosplay. And I chat with them a little bit about it and then move on with life. Yeah, only get to talk to people on the internet. Yeah, that's usually where almost all my talking goes on as well. A kid's ramen.
Sorry, we don't have that here.
I'm fine with the regular. I can totally eat that much. That was mean, senpai. Just don't treat me like a kid. So, I saw some people from our dorm stop by here a while back. Like Sonata-san.
Yeah,
and
I don't know what I'm
recently
doing.
joined.
And, like, sometimes there's a lot of thoughts of
Can you come
self-doubt
with them too?
when
What kinds of things
all
do you
throughout
like?
high school, and even before that, I would constantly hear, like, university is the place to meet people. This is where you're gonna be making the connections that you'll have for the rest of your life. And then I did 7 years of university and graduated earlier this year. And for me, that really was not remotely the case. Like, everyone that I grew up with is either in a relationship or hitched by now. And after 7 years of university, I can't say that there was even, like, a single friend that I kept. I mean, the past 2 groups that I've had for my game design classes were actually pretty good. The people there were actually pretty nice. And I mean, I could try following up with some of them and be like, hey, you guys want to go out and do something fun? Like,
It's nothing.
like just like my general game design groups and stuff.
I finished all the soup too.
Like, I think I invited both my last 2 groups to frag, I think, this past year. But I don't think any of them were able to make it. But, there hasn't... I know that after the university semesters were done, we were talking about, like, how we all gotta get together to, like, play Minecraft together at some point after the semester's through. And we just kind of never really ended up doing that. So while my last year was definitely better, like, I feel like it's also, like, a whole lot of life busyness and struggling to keep in touch and stuff. And all my group projects before this last year of university, oh my god, all my previous group projects were bad. There would always be, like, some good people in the group, but there was always, with every single previous group project, at least somebody that'd be making it a living hell. I'm really glad my last 2 group projects before graduation were actually pretty good. But yeah, it's... And I can't say that there was anyone that I really connected with, like, where it's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a friendship that's lasting, like, long term. And I figured because of my struggle to, like, keep connections, that I should be trying to, like, get out of my comfort zone more and, like, doing, like, more things with people. So last year, for my game design group that I had at the time in the class where we were making a text adventure game, my stream space is kind of like my most private of space here. This is like my sacred ground. This isn't the kind of thing that I just invite anybody onto. But when Extra Life was coming up, I ended up inviting my whole game group to my group that we were making a game with at the time. And they all made it. So last year for the 24-hour Cherry Stream 9 at West Edmonton Mall, I did have, like, my whole group there during a 24-hour Cherry Stream, which was, like, one of the biggest kinds of streams that I can do on this channel, like one of the biggest event streams. So, you know, still largely strangers that I'm, like, pretty familiar with at this point, but not, like, super intimately so, that I've just invited into, like, my most sacred of spaces to see if that makes it so that we become, like, super close and this is a connection that we're gonna keep long term. And it was fun having, like, the whole group there and playing some games together and stuff. It was something very, very different for me. I don't really think I see any of the connections really continuing long term, though. Like, not like there's anything wrong. It's just one of those things where it's like, we were cool, we were vibing with one another when we were as a group, and there was reasons to be hanging out and doing stuff together, even if for fun, since we're already spending so much time together as a group. But now that there isn't like that kind of tie bringing us together, there just isn't really that glue there. Like, kind of like we're almost acquaintances by now, I'd say, is what I feel like we are, just because it's like, it's been so long, no one's really following up. I tried to follow up a couple times with events like Fragapalooza, and I think I followed up with the Mega FPS events as well, but I don't know if there was any much interest in that. And now it's just kind of like, all right, well, I guess that's just kind of dissipating. So yeah, I have tried to get out of my comfort zone more by doing things like inviting people into my sacred space, but I don't know if that's really amounted to anything per se, is the case. But yeah. And yeah, that's fair there, Guzma. And you know, a lot of university people who left with 0 friends there. Okay, so not exactly like a super rare thing there. Mainly quit university because of COVID, but you made one friend who you don't talk to much very often, but he's still in university even now. Not the same one, he graduated, he's at a different university now, getting a different degree. He's going for music. Nice, nice. It's cool if you're still chatting there. Yeah, but still being comfortable with what is going on is the most important thing for that sort of stuff. Yeah, for sure. I think I was a little bit uncomfortable kind of inviting people into my stream space that I hadn't exactly known for a super long time yet during the 9th 24-hour cherry stream. I got more comfortable with it as the stream went on, but it still felt a little bit weird when I'd only known them for a couple months. Like, because usually inviting onto stream is something that I only do for like those I've known for a long time. But yeah, made some tracks for the video game you're making. Oh, nice. And being gay means you don't have the same risks and problems with that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, just in kind of like a different way. Like it can, yeah, it comes with its own challenges. Own advantages and own challenges.
Because I'm eating with you. You're really easy to talk to, and the ramen was delicious.
Like,
Maybe next time we can.
One thing that I can say with like, I've tried for many years using things like dating apps that just don't really go anywhere because like there's so much competition and like people treat it like a marketplace. Like, I can say that one advantage that you could probably have with being gay is that at least you're on like the same level playing field then. Like there's as many people seeking on one side as there is on the other side when everyone's the same, is something that you can say there. And like, whereas with dating apps where you're looking for straight relationships, it's gonna really suck for guys, is the case. And yeah, that's what I've heard. And you know, I don't think you ever met Crash, Guzma, but Crash, who was my doubles partner in Fragapalooza 2019 and my co-commentator for Fragapalooza 2022, that dudo there, who like I met at Frag 2019 and later had as like co-commentary at the hybrid event. I remember late at night while I wasn't streaming and we started talking about that field. He was showing me like he was going through, I think it was Tinder, and basically talked to me about like, oh yeah, I have all these options of like all these different girls' places that I can stay over tonight, because apparently he was like one of those Tinder giga chads that like does really well in the algorithm because like the whole snowballing thing, and like it was really into just like hookups rather than anything meaningful long term, like and chatting to me all about that. And so I started chatting a little bit about that field, and he was like, what you should do is you should read this book that I read that changed my life. The book that he recommended to me was called The Game by Neil Strauss. And you know what? I actually did read it. And it was the story about this guy that had like basically no luck in the kind of field of relationships, and then started studying the forbidden art of pickup artists, which anyone really knows is basically like a scam. But he started going deep into it in the story and becoming like a super master professional at going and getting hookups and stuff, and became like a teacher himself. And it sounds like a lot of people that read that book just kind of try to get like the tips and tricks of what the guy was doing, because it's based on a true story, what the guy wrote. A lot of people apparently just take the lessons and just roll with it and are like, yeah, that's a lesson of the story. That's what I should take from this. But if you read it through to the end, you realize that the guy that did this, he started to lose respect for women when he started using like the same tricks over and over again to like get interest, just because he was doing things that made him a genuinely interesting guy. And like when they kept on working over and over again, he was beginning to lose respect for those that it was working on because like it felt like he was just copy pasting, kind of recycling, doing like the same stuff over and over and over again. And then when he became like such a head honcho in the field and everyone around him started copying the exact same thing, and there were all these mini hymns running around instead of people taking some of the key lessons and using it to be more confident in themselves, instead just running off of a script rather than just passionately being themselves and putting themselves out there. It just felt like really wrong, and the story ends with him walking away from that life and being like, hey, let's not do this because it's kind of ruined my life after all. And I thought that that was actually a meaningful lesson, and kind of a meaningful lesson to be like, hey, like, be confident in yourself and put yourself out there, but like, be yourself. Don't just do like some exact thing step for step what someone tells you to do, like online or in person or whatever the heck. Like, just truly be yourself and be passionate and find someone that you can vibe with long term rather than like going for short-term gratification. So I actually did quite like the book that he recommended me, but probably not in the way that he interpreted it, I would imagine here. So yeah, also just kind of don't have interest in romantic relationships, so mostly interested in friendships. That's fair. Next, actually, your first crush from middle school just didn't feel the same way for you back then, and she suddenly started messaging you out of nowhere, and then we started dating. Proposed, and shit happened, and realized she was using you and cheating your emotional feelings. Yeah, that's really shitty there. Don't do hookups either. I mean, first off, still a virgin. Yep, same here. But view that stuff is very, very different from other people. Yeah, like when it comes to me pursuing a relationship, it has to be something meaningful long term. Like, I don't remotely have any interest in any short-term gratification. Like, that's not me. Probably your only real crush. I kind of wish she wasn't because she was mean. Like, really, or she was really, really mean. Oh, jeez. Gay culture is just very different, huh? Yeah, I wouldn't be familiar with it myself.
I'll have to pass. I'm not even sure if I could make it next month.
And I've never had a crush, like, ever, is the case. Like, I never had any interest in relationships at all, like, all the way through high school. It was only, like, in university. Probably in, like, third year? Something like that? Maybe towards the end of second year? I don't know. But sometime, like, a decent couple of years into university before I started having, like, any remote interest in that field. And even then, I never really had a crush or feelings for anyone. I never really had somebody where I looked at them and I was like, this is the person that I want to be with or anything. So it's, not like playing soccer. So I don't know, it's difficult.
I just have enough to do.
You felt short-term during your years in university, but realized you don't want to go that route. Yeah. I feel like university is also like, no pun intended, a really suitable breeding ground for people that just want, like, short-term gratification, short-term dopamine. And just, like, fun little, what would be the term? Smidges of excitement? Nights of excitement? I don't know. Part with a mod and return to my room. There's academics and crap. I don't know. This isn't gonna be where I cut it up into a new part because, like, I'm continuing to ramble about this for a while, so, like, I guess this part is just gonna continue. But yeah, one day I think it would be nice to be able to pursue something meaningful long term. Like, what I don't want like short-term gratification. What I want is like someone that I can share my passions with and who can share their passions with me. Like, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, not all gays view sex like you either. It's just that there isn't a default for gays like straight people where closed mono relationship is the default. I mean, if you go around like dating apps a whole lot, you do see with a straight relationships a whole lot more people that are like, oh, we should totally pursue polygamy. Monogamy is like so old school. The dating app scene is really weird nowadays. Harmonia, so I haven't been around lately. I just want to have friends and chill, want to go back to what you wanted before you even went to college. Yeah, that's more than fair. And yeah, when it comes to like relationship stuff with me, what that kind of reminds me of is basically what I'm looking for is like a best friend forever kind of thing, who's also like in a relationship. Again, someone to share my passions with and share passions with me. Like, that's the kind of thing that I look for, but I know that that isn't always like the norm for a lot of people. Yeah, just leave her alone. Don't ask me why. You've got this. Yeah, thanks, man. Like, things have to feel right. You know, dating app scene is incredibly weird for straight relationships. Yep, I've definitely learned that. Most definitely. How's it going?
Junpei-san has already left school. He went to the hospital. Lately, he seems to be emotionally distressed.
Still far from passing as a human. Doesn't look like she understands ordinary feelings and conversations yet. If she could, I might be able to form a bond with her. Okay. But yeah, I just want to have that true Explorers of Sky partner or Super Mystery Dungeon partner. Yeah, that one where it's like meant to be. That's your partner for life. Alright, let's see here. Let's duplicate a stupid skill card. Alright. But I mean, who am I to talk about going out and pursuing relationships? Here I am, live streaming Persona. So I couldn't help but take a jab at a Persona here for the memes. Art Club isn't gonna go up. Wait, is that one that's gonna start? Is that a new one? Because Bev is a different thing. Wait, is that Art Club again? Wait, and the, gosh dang it. And there's a social link, or linked episode or whatever there. Is that another Koromaru one? Oh, wasn't there something from the school that I needed to give to Elizabeth? It's another Koromaru one. Well, maybe I'll start this from now. But yeah, from everything you have seen, they still want a straight relationship, but they kind of have casual sex on a ton to the point where even after they have a modern relationship, they had casual sex for so long, they tend to end up cheating. Oh, geez. Well, that was not great there. I'm also so glad you found out that your ex's favorite video game was not Explorers of Sky. She only said that just to get your attention. Book cover. I know what that is, but that sounds important for something. Didn't I need to go get, like, a code, the URL from the one guy at night, and then that unlocked, like, a new thing in the shop here to give to Elizabeth? Won't remember. Here, this here was what now? Art room. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, like, if a relationship isn't doing something, if it isn't doing something for you, if it isn't doing enough for you, then just break it off. Like, if you know that's not gonna work long term. But I guess some people are like, oh, I kind of like the fun that comes with that, but I also want, like, short-term fun here that I feel like I'm not gonna get with, I don't know. Like, just like, here's a chance for, like, short-term gratification, short-term fun, or something like that. I don't know. It's not like the kind of thing I'd understand, so I'm not gonna sit here and try to justify it. Just trying to understand, like, sure, join the club. Yeah, fair enough. Who's this dude?
Huh?
You're not a member of this club, are you? Do you know him, Yamagishi-san?
What do you remind me of?
Yes, he's the one I was just telling you about.
His eyes look weird.
So he's the one, huh? I've heard a lot about you from Yamagishi-san.
We're looking for new members to join our club, so I mentioned you. I'm really happy you decided to stop by on your own.
And, I'm Keisuke Hiraga. Pleased to meet you.
He should be the one introducing himself to you, Keisuke-senpai. You're the club leader, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Still the same as ever.
Yamagishi-san is back, and now we're getting a new member.
His eyes in the
Maybe I should be a
3D
little
model,
active.
when they're open, look like he's possessed or something.
Wait, aren't you a third year Hiraga-senpai?
Or he's like a robot
Any
locking
visitors
on.
coming up?
No, don't worry about that. Hey, do you have an eye for art?
I don't have a hand for art, but maybe I have an eye
Maybe
for
we'll
it.
get to learn a thing or two from you.
I don't know.
Meeting you like this can't be just a coincidence. It must be fate. Let's get you signed up, shall we?
Hiraga gave me a warm welcome. I joined the art club and made friends with the members. I mean, with being online and just seeing like a whole lot of things on social media, I feel like it could be easy to like feel that kind of way. That like feel like that's a kind of environment when that's what you're probably going to be seeing most of in the online space. Is the case? Whoops, whatever, fortune. Rank 1, Fortune Art Club.
Just
So-
so you know, only club members are allowed to enter this.
The
room.
online sphere
So
might
don't
make it a
forget to
little
turn in
bit
your registration
misleading,
form.
potentially.
The art club meets on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Okay.
But we don't meet on the days leading up to exams. We should be studying then anyway. You don't have to come every day, so just try to show up every now and then.
Who would've
Okay,
thought
sure,
we'd
will
end up in the
do.
same club?
Okay, I'll get this all processed. Looking
So, I
forward to
mean,
getting
yeah,
with
when
you.
the most examples that we see are in the online sphere because of how easily convenient it is to see that. Plus, with, like, all the algorithms, like, constantly pushing that kind of stuff forward, I feel like it can be easy to fall into the mindset that that's the norm. I don't know how much of a norm it actually is. Not entirely sure. Hey, by the way, how long have we been holding at your dory, girl? About 4 Gosh dang it! I see. Never mind then. I swear I just tried to press down. A lot. Oh, so her a lot at college there, huh? I might not lie, way more mature than I really met IRL here. Oh. Well then. Well, it'd probably be good for you to get new abilities considering you're always part of my party, so like, wait. But I was gonna go see about a new URL, right? It seems like it's a little bit laggier in there, but the frame rate is fine here. Here, let me run over this way really quickly. But yeah. Huh. Interesting. Nope. Well, maybe there isn't. I don't know. I thought there was something like that for Elizabeth request. Or something or other. Alright. Well, here, let's go hang out with you. Even though they live in different countries. The rooftop plants just doing. Don't know much about gardening, but I'm kind of curious. Well, I know a lot about agriculture. Probably the produce might improve if we tend to the rooftop planters together. So, is it okay if I help out? Yeah, that'd be great. Feels as if this lounge area in Reload is less visually pleasing than equivalent areas in Persona 5. Lower budget, perhaps? Yeah, I feel like some of the walls and stuff look a little bit strange sometimes. This looks like higher quality Gmod, is what it looks like. I feel it's in the upper levels that the walls felt especially off to me. It's like, yeah, it feels very plain. These doors look just pasted on rather than being actual parts of the environment. Yeah, I do get what you feel. Yeah, and this counts as a hangout and stuff. Yeah, it seems of course you only see them as friends. What if I put my Minecraft bed next to yours? Just kidding. Unless. I can't wait to see Jack Black say that in the Minecraft movie.
Or monitoring how much sunlight they're getting?
Not for tomatoes, no. Like, unless the pH is really fucked. Like, we don't really need to go that far. We're not growing anything that specialty. I do have a pH meter
I guess
here.
we don't have to get so technical for
Because again, like, I'm pretty into gardening stuff. I do own a pH meter. But it's not like they're expensive. It's not like it's anything that fancy.
I do like
But,
flowers and stuff, but I've never really worked with them outside of arrangements.
But tomato plants love a lot of water.
Though.
You have to water tomato plants a
Oh,
lot.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go on about myself like that.
They
Shall
love
we
that
keep
stuff.
walking for a bit more? I'll go get some water.
Tended the rooftop planters with Fuka.
This looks good.
Thanks to the care we put in, it looks like it will be a big harvest.
Do you think you could invite me when you tend the plants again? I'll
Maybe,
try to
if it'll
get
advance a
some
skill of
other
yours.
to help out next time too.
Alright, we cleared that. I'll probably keep on going with this part for a little bit because, like, same subject here. Feels you like a port of this game could have possibly running on the Switch. Yeah, yeah, possibly could have. Like, tone some things down, but keep a lot of things the same. Whoops, auto advances on despite there not being voice acting. Oh wait, hearing about what gave you a breath of fresh air, Guzma? And yeah, that's fair there, John Wildcat. Like, let's take a look at some English idioms. When someone has a big mouth, it means they're a loudmouth or a boastful person. And I'm kind of surprised that we somehow got all the way this far to this topic while doing a stream of Persona, of all things. I'm not upset by the fact that she rejected you. A message not send? I don't think so. Happy that she didn't get weirded out by it and just left forever, which was a common thing that happened in your early school days and one of your biggest fear of what would have happened if you asked her. This was the phrase spill the beans. Let's DM John Wildcat about sex. Let's not take this out of context. Like, this is the kind of thing that could absolutely be taken out of context. Someone's gonna point at as like an example of what the Acoustic Harmonia live streams are like. Like, look, here he is asking his viewers to go DM some other viewer of his about sex. if that isn't like sexual harassment, like I don't know what is. Like, man, he didn't even get to all that big of a content creator before he went off that deep end, did he? What exactly did he mean? Junpei, why don't you answer? Me? Harmonia, you know what it means to spill the beans? Yeah, to reveal a secret, but like, play it safe anyway, and look up Persona 3 Reload class answers. Let's see here. Am I brought up in the super secret chat before? Wait, did it not send again? I don't know here. One girl you're still friends with who's in the UK, but you know her for so long that you've developed a crush on her and told her your feelings, and she said she doesn't feel the same way, but wasn't going to view you any differently than before. Then the follow-up part. Did send okay? Let's see here. Control F9, 10. Boobity bop. Yep. It's exactly what I figured, but it's always better safe than sorry. Now I have the tab open.
Yes.
There we go. Yes, that's correct. Like, I just spilled the beans on a whole bunch of stuff this stream that I didn't think I would be during streams at all. Even during things like my Assassin's Creed series, where I'm the most open about life stuff going on, since, like, again, that's the closest thing that I have to journal entries. There are many theories about why the word beans is used. One particularly famous theory says that beans were used to vote in ancient Greece. At that time, they'd put white beans for yes and black beans for no into the ballot box. And if you spilled the beans before voting, it'd reveal their color and your once secret vote. Oh, that reminds me. Last time, my darling.
Thanks, man.
My darling. That's inappropriate for a teacher to say to her students. Phew, thanks, Harmonia. Mr. Kun gave him the answer just now. He must be really smart. I hear my classmates whispering. Like, I assume him refers to Junpei, because I was like, I'm pretty sure that teacher's not a him. My charm's already maxed. I didn't need to look it up at all. It makes no difference. Man. The friend you never had. No, don't say that. Oh, there's another thing.
Oh, Chidorita.
Nice delivery.
Don't call me that.
Come on, lighten up. Here, I brought you a new sketchbook. I thought your old one might be getting full.
I don't remember asking you to do that, Junpei.
You finally called me by my name. I wasn't sure if you'd ever say it again.
Any luck?
She finally started talking, but she hasn't said anything useful so far.
Well, it's a start. More of a response than we got from her. So, why are you here?
Chidori, what's wrong?
Yo, what the hell?
What is that? There's something right there. An enemy? Wrong. Move!
Chidori!
Relax. Her persona just went berserk. It happens.
It happens.
Weren't you guys watching? You could see her persona strangling her for a second. They're not like us. They can't fully control their personas. That's why they need to take suppressants. To keep their personas from killing them.
Suppressants? Wait. Do you know something about SEGA?
Some things you only pick up stepping off the straight and narrow. I'll give the duck the meds I have. The rest is up to you.
Shinji, wait! Hey!
Junpei?
Thank God. I thought you were gonna die.
Whoa, they used lowercase god. Based.
What do you mean? Why do you look so
I
scared?
don't think I've ever said the word based on stream before. It's one of those things I see
What are
other
you
people
talking about?
call me sometimes.
Dying just means you won't
I'll
wake
look up what it
tomorrow.
meant.
That's all.
What the hell are you saying? You don't really mean that, do you?
Junpei?
I don't want that. You hear me, Chidori? I don't want you to die.
Junpei.
It doesn't matter if you're not afraid. It's not the point. I don't want to have to live in a world without you.
Wow, he started simping pretty fast.
So weird, Junpei.
Look who's talking.
Yeah, to follow up on that same subject, yeah, I don't think I would ever be that forward that fast with someone.
What the hell's going on? Why did you have those suppressants? I've heard about what they do. They're taken to rein in a persona when the user can't control it. But the side effects... You're not taking them, are you? Answer me!
I don't have to tell you shit.
Why are you always like this?
Save it. I've heard it all before. You think I'm wasting my power. You can't stand the sight of someone so half-assed, right? I'm sick of your damn preaching. Shit.
You don't understand at all. You should already know. 10 years ago, when the orphanage burned down, I couldn't save my sister. Back then, I wasn't strong enough to get past the adults holding me back to even try. That's why I try so hard. I thought you felt the same way. We promised each other to become strong enough to do what we think is right. So why? Why'd you start taking those drugs without telling me?
I'm back in the fight now. I have no reason to suppress my persona anymore. So just let it go.
Damn it. And the side effects?
There's something I need to take care of. It's something only I can do. I gotta take responsibility.
What do you mean?
Listen, quit worrying about me. Just do what you think is right. Got that?
Shinji.